incredible.
The adventure begins. The adventure begins.
Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I'm so sorry for the mess around. I don't know what happened, the stream dropped out for some reason. But I'm here now and hopefully it's all working okay on Twitch and on YouTube. I am actually quite sick at the moment, so apologies that this is what I sound and look like. I did contemplate putting makeup on to make myself not seem quite so dead inside, but I could not fathom putting anything on my face right now. It's so humid here today as well, like there's a summer storm. It's a whole thing, but I'm excited to be here. It's just gonna be a short stream today, just an hour, and if I'm not really feeling good, you know, I'll finish earlier. But I didn't want to miss today because it's been a while since we've had Bell's Hells, and I just feel like there is so much to talk about. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get into it with all of you today. Oh gosh, all right, let me say hi to everybody. Thank you so much for this hype train in the Twitch chat as well. Let's say hi to YouTube, and sorry YouTube, yeah, you got kicked out and then I had to, it's so dumb, like at least on Twitch, if your stream drops and you start streaming again immediately, it just streams like to the same place. But for YouTube, I had to set up a whole another live stream so it's like a totally different place. So I'm hoping everybody found their way over to the new live stream. So Diggadog, hello, welcome. Taxinema, welcome. Smouse Games, hello. Sinclair, Fishton, it's good to have you. And anybody lurking over on YouTube, hello. Let's scroll up and say hi in Twitch. Grim on a sunny day, Mike, hello, Ed, Inkfish, Alvius, Lady Squire, Gwen, Litterbox Hero, Anamorphous, Tarry, Realm of Russ, Nora.
Nothing happens for a reason. It's absolute fucking chaos.
Literally my entire life. EK, Tridoral, Web Addict, welcome. Jojo, Vexalia, Elise, hello. Underneath, thank you so much for the sub for 8 months. Thank you. Jedi Unicorn, welcome. Shenanigan, thank you for the sub for 19 months. Holy dooly. Villa Lobos, hello. Kay Riley, welcome. Shenanigans, Queen of Pups. Lovely Chaotic Cupcake, thank you so much for the sub for 12 months. Hey, you get a shiny rainbow badge now. That's awesome. Bingos Bongus, hello. Thank you for joining us today. That username just made me giggle. Jedi Unicorn, thank you so much for gifting 2 subs. I know I'm missing people, so I'm so sorry. DMQC, hello. Felice, thank you so much for the sub for 9 months. It has gone by very fast indeed. Renee the Gamer, hello. Welcome. Option delete. Okay, I'm gonna have to start skipping people. There's just too much to catch up on. Geeky Vapor, thank you so much for the 10-month sub. KL Good, thank you for the 6 months. And NVH, thank you so much for gifting 5 subs. Thank you. It was so funny. I was watching a Critical Role VOD the other day and I just had the chat open because sometimes I like to see what the chat is saying. Normally I keep it closed, but sometimes I'm like, ooh, what has chat got to say about this? And I saw you in there gifting subs. What an absolute legend. Trivia's Loves, hello. Shara Games, Anna Falk, thank you so much for the 5-month subs. Once in Future, thank you for the sub as well for 6 months. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow, I got through it. But yes, there is lots to discuss. I actually don't remember what happened last episode. Yeah, I'm actually the same. I ended up re-watching the second half this morning just to kind of refresh myself and had a quick look at Danny's recap as well, which is always incredibly helpful. No one tell my boss I'm goofing off right now. I promise I won't tell you because I consistently do the same thing. I would never. A couple of minutes behind. I'm going to catch up. Oh, no worries, Danielle. If you need to cut it short, we'll understand. Thank you, what Jane says. Yes. No, I don't worry. I will take care of myself. This is the only thing that I'm doing today, apart from like some crafting things that I can do whilst watching something in my pajamas. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Well, okay. I actually have some notes of things I want to talk about. We're not gonna do a dice roll today, just because we have a short time frame, and also I didn't clean my desk off to set up the second camera because I'm too lazy. So that's what that's about. Okay. So my show notes say, "Welcome, I'm sick." Oh yes, thank you notes for reminding me. So just for those of you who are joining us for the first time, whether it's on YouTube or Twitch, we do have a watch party every week in the Discord if you want to jump in. It's a really fun space to hang out. It's not, it's not too big, but there's like enough people in there that it's a conversation going pretty much the entire time. It's a really nice place. I mean, I love hanging out in there. I don't always watch the episodes live actually anymore. Incredible. But I actually might watch it live today because I put my kid in childcare after school because I am sick, and I was like, kid, you need someone to like actually do stuff with you that's not just like lying on the couch. What was I saying? Oh my god, my brain is melting. Anyway, yes, I might be able to watch the whole thing live today because I think it finishes before I have to pick him up. Anyway, this is the Discord. I'm sorry, that was a big long ramble to basically say join the Discord. Hello Darren, welcome in. Oh, NVH, thank you so much for gifting us up to Kadel. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So much love in the chat. Thank you so much. People arguing about the pronunciation of GIF and GIF in the chat. Stuck in ads? I don't understand. I just ran ads. Why? I don't understand how the ad situation is working. I think it's because the stream glitched, so it's doing weird stuff. I'm so sorry about that. You're new here, but glad to have found this community. I'm glad that you're here too. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about the ads. I'm just gonna put that in the chat for Twitch. Boo. The last thing I'll say before we officially get into the discussion is, if you haven't done so already, I'm assuming everybody watching me on YouTube has checked out my YouTube videos. Thank you. But if you're watching on Twitch and you don't know, I have a YouTube channel where I regularly post Critical Role related videos. I've actually posted a couple recently that I think are really good, and they have completely tanked, like really, really badly. My most recent one tanked so hard that I ended up refunding the sponsor part of their payment, because I was like, this is not performing very well. And it's my first time doing a video like that, so, you know, I think I'll know better for next time if I ever make a video like that again. But also my cupcake video, I think is really fun. I think it's a really good video. I think it's one of my best. So if you haven't watched it, I would really appreciate your eyeballs on it. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because it's me, but I think it's really fun. And I put a lot of effort into it. It took me a really long time to edit. Yeah, so anyway, check it out. That's my plea. Watch my stuff, please. I'm gonna take a little break from making videos over the next month, basically over the holiday season and whatnot, just to kind of have a think about what I want to make next year. Since I stopped doing the like weekly recaps, I've been experimenting with some different videos and seeing some like wildly different results. And so it's about kind of finding the balance between the videos that I really enjoy making as well as the videos that you will enjoy watching, because, you know, I like to make videos for people to watch. I don't think view counts are like any indication of how good something is, because sometimes the algorithm just doesn't push it. But I do enjoy making videos that people actually watch. So it's about finding that kind of middle ground. So I'm going to put out some surveys on all my different social medias, like on my YouTube community page, in the Discord, on Twitter, etc. Just asking people what you want to see, what kind of content you want to see from me, what your favorite videos of mine have been, and what you'd like to see moving forward, just to kind of get a bit of an idea of what you'll want to do. I've been in a bit of a weird place at the moment, feeling like, I don't know, like, do I have very much to offer to the YouTube space? Like, are my videos really adding anything to the conversation? And I don't know if that's just because I'm feeling a bit low because I'm sick, but yeah, so it'd be really valuable feedback for me to hear from you, what kind of stuff you all like, etc. So that is it. Will you be trying Candela Obscura? Yes, hopefully. I'm hoping to. I really want to run a game. The issue, not the issue, but like the thing is we're currently playing a Call of Cthulhu game right now in my home game. So I don't really want to be like, guys, let's stop playing Jared's Call of Cthulhu game and come play my Candela Obscura game with a very similar genre. But I am considering maybe running an actual play of that next year. I've never run an actual play that wasn't a one-shot, and I don't know if I'm up for the task because it's a big commitment. And also I like to pay people for their time when they guest on my channel, and that becomes difficult when it's a long-term series. Even if it's like 5 episodes, it's still like a lot of money to come up with. So yeah, anyway, I'll have a think about it, but I'm just genuinely hoping to like play it at least in general. Right, okay, I think those are all of the things. I think the ads have all ended. Hopefully we can get into it. All right, now just for those who were not here for our previous discussion about, you know, everything that happened with Ashton, please keep your disagreements respectful. There's no need to shit on other people because they have a different opinion to you. So please be kind to each other. If you don't agree, that's fine. That's the beauty of storytelling. We all have a different perspective. So just like be nice, even if you disagree. And in fact, that actually dovetails really nicely with something I want to talk about that came up in Four-Sided Dive this week. That I think Travis in particular touched on. Travis and Marisha talked about. Marisha was talking about how the emotions are real, but then you have like, so as in the emotions you're feeling in the game, also do you feel them as a real person? And so then they can kind of, this is not exactly what she said, so I'm paraphrasing, but they can kind of then bleed through into everything else. But that's when you like talk with your fellow players, you work things out, you move forward from there. And Travis also mentioned that like sometimes it'll be like, okay, I'm not ready to talk about this right now, I need some space, and then you work it out and you move forward. And I think that's a really, really great thing to keep in mind, is that obviously I understand that we all do feel emotions about these stories, and I don't want to downplay that in any way, but remembering there is that layer there that it's fiction, and that, you know, even the players will disagree with each other at sometimes. They will have like negative feelings towards each other, but they work through it because that's what they do. They're friends and professionals. I thought it was a really, really great discussion, which I highly recommend watching if you haven't done so already. It was a really great look behind the curtain. I actually felt a little bit sad at the end of Four-Sided Dive. If you haven't seen it yet, I guess this is a spoiler. At the end of the Four-Sided Dive, they had a little moment where Matt was playing this character who was basically like, that's it, no more bits, no more games. They're not doing the Tower of Inquiry anymore, it seems like. I actually quite like the Tower of Inquiry. I feel like this episode of Four-Sided Dive was the best one yet in terms of balancing the bits with the discussion. So I'm a bit sad that like all of the bits are going, but I'm glad they're moving more towards a discussion format. I think the other format where they were just trying to cram too many things in was just not working. It didn't allow enough space for these kinds of really deep, meaningful conversations that really give us an insight into how the players think about the game, which I think is what I watch the show for. I don't really watch it just to watch them as people. I know a lot of people do watch it for that reason, but that's not for me. Like, I like hearing the insight about the game and the insight about their decisions. So I think it was really, really good. Charlotte, welcome in. First time catching a pre-stream. I'm glad to have you here. Welcome. Hey, it's Maddie P. What is up with you? How you doing? Everyone go say hi to Maddie P. Very good friend of the channel. How do I do a shout out again on Twitch? I haven't done one of these in ages. It's because no one comes to see me anymore. No, it's because I forget. Hey, it's Maddie P. Go and give him a follow. And if you're running any of the starter sets, you should absolutely check out his YouTube channel. Great Four-Sided Dive episode plus Omar guest starred or guest slept. Yes, it was so cute. I liked the little snoring into the microphone. It was so cute. It was really, really cute. Very, very cute. It's such a great episode this week. Put a lot of things that came up into perspective. Yes, I agree. I think it was what had sort of been missing from those things. I'm glad that they've taken out those cold opens. I hated those cold opens with an absolute passion. I just found them so awkward and strange when they were all facing away from the camera. Like, it's just such a weird way to start a show. But anyway, I don't like Four-Sided Dive too much. I like how D20 do the thing. Yes, I would love that. I would love just a 30-minute discussion after the episode. But I like that this is a nice sort of in between that. Patty, hello! Thank you so much for the sub. Almost 2 years. Oh my gosh, Patty. That's wild. I think you might be the longest running sub, maybe? I can't remember, but it's gotta be because I've only been streaming for just over 2 years. So yeah. Dug this week's Four-Sided Dive. Great Whitestone lore. Yes! Omar is the best guest. Yes, you're so right, Jeffrey. Yeah. Honestly, it'd be fine if they got rid of the gameplay segment at the end. Cold opens. Oh, hey. Oh, Maddie, you'll hate it if you watch it. Go watch one of the older episodes of Four-Sided Dive. I think you will feel exactly the same. Oh, Jaylee, thank you so much for the donation. Incredible. Thank you. Is the session starting later because of the Game Awards? Oh, do you mean like Critical Role? I don't believe Critical Role is starting later. I'm just starting later today than usual because I'm sick and I think I'm only going to be able to talk for about an hour. Glitch! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for gifting 10 subs. Thank you! If you got a sub, make sure you say thank you. Thank you so much. I'm guessing I'm a little odd in actually liking the Four-Sided Dive format. But that's fine. I mean, that's the thing. I think that's a really important point in that some people did really enjoy it, but personally, I didn't like how they tried to mush kind of too many things together. I think if they had more of a game-focused show, I would watch that. If it was like a monthly show where they were playing games and, you know, kind of like Game Ranch. You gotta say it with the accent. Game Ranch. I would say it Game Ranch, but that doesn't sound correct. Game Ranch, then that would be, like, I would enjoy that. That would be fun. But I didn't like that they kind of tried to jam them together, for sure. CR is pre-recorded. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Chaotic and too many things at once. I agree. Biggest loss from CR is pre-recording. I don't know. I don't agree, Gamer Geek. I actually didn't. I mean, I guess because I watched after the fact. I never watched live. But like from pretty an early on point, they stopped interacting with the chat. So I don't know. I think it's better because then we're more likely to get consistent episodes and we don't get people away that much. I mean, obviously we did have Liam away. Obviously they must not have been able to change their recording schedule. But I think it's better. Yeehaw Game Ranch. Yeah, exactly. Have I beat BG3 yet? I have not. I've been putting off playing BG3. I'm deep in my Stardew Valley era again. I've betrayed Baldur's Gate. I need to play it. It's just a little overwhelming for me, which is crazy because Stardew Valley is one of the most overwhelming games out there. But yeah, no, I will finish it. My partner and I got caught up on Campaign 3 thanks to your CR recap videos, and now they watch CR with me. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad that could be helpful. I'm sorry that I'm not doing them anymore, but I'm glad at least it could help you catch up somewhat. I just came back from my first Pathfinder 2E play session. Oh, I hope it went well. That's right, I remember. You were talking about your character in the last stream. You're literally playing Stardew right now. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, but I gotta get back into Baldur's Gate. I need to finish it. Zadum, thank you so much for the Prime sub as well. Okay. Sorry that I'm sniffly. I know that's so gross. Hold on, I'm gonna blow my nose, but I'm gonna mute my mic. You know what, I'm gonna blow my nose. Hold on. Oh, ignore that thing saying that there are ads. I don't. I'm not running an ad right now. Okay, so also something I want to talk about from Four-Sided Dive is Taliesin talking about how he and Ashley really got the wrong message about what was going to happen with the shard. That they felt very like happy and on board with their decision with what they were doing, and I thought that was fascinating. And I think this is such a great example of communication between players and at the table being so important, because like I've said in the previous stream where we talked about this, it was very clear to me that Ashton was going to try and take the shard. Like, it was so obvious. He even said it in Four-Sided Dive the episode before, but Matt clearly didn't hear it, didn't take that information in that way. And so everybody was sort of like on a different page about what was going to happen. Miscommunication can happen to anyone. Exactly. So I think it's yeah, it was really, I don't know, it was kind of refreshing to see that. See, it even happens with these professional players, you know? Oh, Timmy, thank you so much for the follow. Also, Matafa, thank you for the follow. I forgot to say thank you earlier, but thank you. But yeah, it was really interesting to hear Taliesin talk about how they thought it was gonna go, like he and Ashley thought it was gonna go a totally different way, and were very surprised and didn't. So I kind of thought that maybe, I mean, I think Taliesin knew it was really risky, but I don't think he thought it was risky as like it ended up being, because he said that the moment he realized just how bad it was gonna be was when Matt said, okay, we're gonna do 10 rolls in a row. So yeah, I thought that was really good. I do wish they had Ashley on for Four-Sided Dive. I would have loved to have heard. I know that they were both on last time, but like I would have loved to have heard from her about what she was also thinking in that moment. I think that would be good, and hopefully it'll come up like next time she's on there. And that's the problem with doing these monthly episodes, is we're not always going to get it. But like I would have loved to have heard both her and Taliesin talking about it. But yeah, I think it was good. It was, and also Taliesin. Sorry, look at me mixing up the character and the player. Taliesin talking about how sometimes you don't realize that something you're gonna do is like going to negatively affect the other people. It'll be a bit of a surprise to you. I thought that was an interesting little tidbit as well. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they don't do more. It seems like maybe they don't do more over the table talk between recording, which I guess is in keeping with a lot of their stuff. Like, they never seem to plan anything in between episodes, but yeah. Like, I will often message my players and be like, okay, so that thing that you said last week, is that what your plan is for this week? Because if so, I will like get ready for it. It seems like maybe they don't necessarily do that with this group. I don't know. I might be wrong. They might just not have done it in this place. First time joining you. Hello, Unlucky Unicorn. Welcome. Curious if Ashton made a mistake or has a hidden agenda. I think based on what Taliesin was saying yesterday in Four-Sided Dive, it was not a hidden agenda, it was a mistake, and it was like very in keeping with the way Taliesin thinks about Ashton as a character. For sure. Yeah, I think if you haven't watched the Four-Sided Dive episode and you have thoughts about Ashton, definitely go and watch it. I'm not saying it will necessarily change your opinion, but I think it was a really insightful look into the way Taliesin thinks about it. Also, I guess something I want to mention here, if anyone is following me on Twitter, I did do in a fever dream yesterday. I started writing a Word document called "In Defense of Ashton," which maybe I'll turn into a video. I mean, it won't be until next year if I do, which might be like too late, but I started going through the transcripts one by one and just reading everything that Ashton has ever said.
It's beautiful.
Why did I start talking about this? What was I talking about? I'm so sorry, everyone. My brain is mush right now when I'm sick. Okay, no, this is what I was talking about. So, in defense of Ashton. So, I also think sometimes people do forget that these are people playing the characters, and they are sometimes going to make inconsistent choices, especially if you have breaks between recording sessions or game sessions. Sometimes you're going to play that character a little bit inconsistently, depending on how you are feeling.
Nothing happens for a reason. It's absolute fucking chaos.
It is, thank you. So I think people were really getting hung up on some particular things that Ashton said and being like, that's the proof there that Ashton did this on purpose and they were fully manipulating Fern, etc., etc. But I just think you can't really do that with this kind of format. It's not like a movie or a book where someone has gone through that line by line. They've decided that that is exactly what is going to be said. It's an improv thing with 4 hours. There are bound to be things that come out of the players' mouths that are not necessarily consistent with the character or in keeping with it, and then they sort of have to learn how to like bring that in and rectify it and make it work with the story that's happening. I don't know, I think people sometimes get really hung up on like, but at this particular timestamp they said this exact thing and then that means this. I just don't know if that's really a reasonable assumption to make. Please make that video. I'm so tired of people on Twitter going out of their way to trash on them and Taliesin. I might do it. I'll see. It depends if anything comes of it. Right now, it is a mess of bullet points of me just like, you know, word vomiting onto the page of like everything, all my thoughts about Ashton and the fandom's response to it and the fandom's response to Taliesin making the choices Ashton. Anyway, it's a whole thing. I don't know if it'll happen, but yeah. Do you think Ashton's -2 con is permanent or will it return when the Earth Shard wakes up? To minus con on a barbarian is crazy. Yeah, I agree, Zeshan. I think it probably will not be permanent. I think it might be something once the Earth Shard kind of wakes up. But I think they need to have someone take the Fire Shard, or it's never going to happen, and then it would be permanent, I guess. Which is wild. Yeah. Inconsistency is part of being a person as well. People's minds wander all the time. Yeah, totally, absolutely. You know, some days I can be very outgoing and very like extroverted in my behavior, and then other days I just can't do it. And like I will act really differently around people, and then they'll be like, what is up with this person? It's wild looking back on my like previous years now that I have my ADHD diagnosis of being like, oh, that's why people think I'm weird. Because sometimes I will be fully like, hi, oh my gosh, how are you? It's so good to see you. And other times I'm like, please don't talk to me. I cannot people right now. Yeah, so anyway. Taliesin plays a character that is a mess and never says otherwise. Agreed. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's going to be permanent but fixable for the con mod. Fixable if they want to find a fix. Yeah. People aren't robots. Agree. Absolutely. People have to remember you can dislike the character choice, but taking it out on the player is not cool. Yeah, and I think, yeah, I think the fandom in general, not speaking for everybody, obviously, but sometimes there is that difficulty of separating the player from the character. And I don't know, this is another video topic that I've been considering, but I don't know if I have the energy to withstand the comments section. But talking about this, the fandom's inability to critique Critical Role in any kind of meaningful way, because it can sometimes, so when someone is critiquing the show, it can sometimes just be an outright attack on the player that they don't like. It can be it's not in good faith. And then sometimes it can be an in good faith critique of a player's choices or a character's choices. And then the fan will be like, well, you're just saying that because you don't like X player. Like, it's really hard to have any kind of discussion about Critical Role with any kind of nuance without a lot of pile-on from various factions of the fandom. And I think it's in part because Critical Role is so special to so many of us. I mean, everyone who's here, I imagine, it's very special to us. And it's kind of becomes, you know, people take media and it becomes part of their identity, right? And so when you critique something that you find that is part of your identity, it feels like a personal critique on yourself. And I think that's the case for every fandom, not just Critical Role. You know, anything where there are passionate people who base a lot of their life around something that they really enjoy. Yeah, and people become protective. Yeah, totally. Oh, MVH, thank you so much for another 5 gifted subs. My goodness, you're on fire today. Thank you. And Templar Witch, thank you so much for the resub as well. Livy, thank you for the follow. Vegemite Powered, yes. Rep for the Vegemite, thank you for the follow as well. And Templar, thank you for the 100 bits. Assassin Maddie, A Queer Creative, thank you for the follows as well. Sorry, I'm a little late. But yeah, so I'm thinking about making a video about that topic, but I just don't know if I really have the energy for it because I know that the comment section will absolutely be a dumpster fire. It's like if you, I really in particular want to talk about the dichotomy between the Critical Role subreddit and the fans of Critical Role subreddit. It's, if you're not on Reddit, God bless you, stay that way. It's a wild time. I'm not even a part of the fans of Critical Role subreddit, but the algorithm just keeps showing me the posts and I keep reading them because I'm so fascinated by it. But yeah, anyway. See, that's my comfort show at this point, but I'm always open to a genuine discourse. Too much of it is ingenuine. Yeah. Everything you're saying is why, aside from your stuff, I refuse to participate in criterdom. I mean, honestly, yeah, I don't really engage in much of the critter spaces either, which is kind of a little bit of a detriment because there are other critters out there.
I don't know what's going on.
I agree, Renee. You know, there are other critters out there that I would love to like hear their perspective on things. But I'm really very grateful and lucky that we have built up such a wonderful community here that we can do it right here. Like, I don't need to go to Reddit. We always have really wonderful conversations here. And I generally feel like people here are really respectful, which is fantastic. But yeah, anyway, so sorry. That was a whole side tangent about the fandom, which I didn't intend to get into today, but it's just been on my mind a lot lately in terms of, yeah, the way we look at things. And because I'm not in many other fandoms, like actively online, the only other one I would say, I'm a lurker in a lot of fandoms, but I don't actively post in them or participate in them so much. So this is kind of the only fandom that I'm like really out there being like, here's my opinion about stuff. But anyway, let's get back to the episodes. Okay, so, all right, we've talked a lot about Ashton and stuff, and I know that there's heaps more to say about it, but because we don't have much time, I do want to touch on a couple of other topics, and then we might circle back around to it again if we have time. Let's just circle on back to that with some synergy. I want to talk a little bit about Laudna's regression, I suppose you could call it. Laudna's little night away with Delilah. I'm so curious to know what you all thought about that and how you think that's gonna play moving forward. I thought it was really sad that Laudna really did lean into it. When she said, "Will you hold me?" and Delilah said, "Always," I was like, oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. That was really, really awful. Quinn the Voice, welcome in. Oh, Glitch, thank you so much for gifting another 2 subs as well. Thank you. Yeah, I think it does make sense that Delilah's influence would be strongest in Whitestone. I think that kind of made sense. I know a lot of people, well, I saw it on a few Reddit threads. The people were not happy with Marisha's choice to kind of, I guess, center Laudna in that moment, but I think that's really disingenuous when you remember that Laudna's entire story is based in Whitestone. Like, it makes sense that she's gonna explore it there, and, I mean, this is kind of, I was really bothered when they didn't go to Ashton's hometown for that exact reason, because it's like, that's where you explore stuff. And so it didn't bother me at all that Laudna had a moment in Whitestone, because it would be silly to me if she did not. So yeah, I thought it was really sad that Delilah had that extra influence, but I'm glad to see that Laudna does still seem to have some distance between the two. Like, she's aware that Delilah shouldn't know where the shard is. That would be a bad idea. And they're still talking about potentially using Delilah in this fight, which I really don't know how that's gonna work in anybody's favor. Yeah. All right, let me catch up on what you're all saying. Mishra, thank you so much for the sub as well. Bidet to you as well. Sorry, I realized I watched a VOD yesterday to get a few clips and realized I go all the time. I'm so sorry if that's annoying. I'm so self-conscious about it now. Terry says all the trauma happened there. It makes so much sense. She's regressing and back stuck there again. Yeah, I mean, like, if you had a really bad abusive experience somewhere and then you were forced to go back there, like, yeah, duh, that's gonna bring up all of those feelings for you, for sure. I think Laudna will 100% betray the group at one moment and the group will have to put Laudna down. No, I don't think so. No, I just don't want that to happen. Dolls are for children and you're a child killed me. It's funny because I couldn't tell if that was supposed, like, I'm assuming that was supposed to be like a negative thing, but Ashton took that doll as such a, like, positive thing, like, got really choked up about it. So that was very interesting to me. In Four-Sided Dive, Marisha talked about how Laudna has arrested development and wouldn't have the skills to deal with the Ashton issue with maturity. Yeah, I agree. Ashira, welcome! Returning to the side of trauma is really hard. Yes. Yeah. I can't stop seeing the parallels between Delilah, Silas, and Imogen / Laudna and what is similar and different. Ooh, that's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that very much.
Ha! I see I have been invited to Rumpus. Very well, Your Majesty. And I'm going to punch a tree.
Brennan Rumpusing is always welcome here. Moondroid, thank you so much for gifting a sub as well. Applebee Solstice, thank you so much for the follow. That's a great username. I want to see an alternate universe one-shot where Delilah gets the shard. Yeah, what would she do with it? Oh man, that would be very wild. Very wild. I think we're going to see Delilah talking in Laudna's body at some point. I mean, I don't know if this is going to happen, but it would be so fucking cool if it did. Like, imagine, I think there might have been some discussion about this, like, earlier in the campaign, that maybe this was something that was happening. But, like, imagine if at some point Delilah fully takes over Laudna and nobody knows except for Marisha and Matt, and she just plays, continues to play, and then it's, like, revealed the whole time that she's Delilah. I feel like, I don't think that will happen because I think it's just, like, I don't know. It doesn't really fit with what's happening in the story right now necessarily, but that would be pretty wild. I don't know. I love a good betrayal. I love it. I love it. Do you think Delilah is ever sincere with Laudna? That is a great question because we've seen Delilah exhibit true passionate love, right, with Silas. I think Delilah is capable of love. I mean, everyone is capable of love, right? But incredible. I think it would be... I don't think it would be incredible. A very, like, true kind of love. You know, it would just be like a very twisted sort of love if she did have any genuine affection or sincerity with Laudna. She does talk about how she wants to protect her and things like that, and, you know, wants to help her. So I don't know how much of that is true. Templar, thank you so much for gifting 23 subs. My goodness.
Thank you.
And Moondroid, thank you so much for gifting a sub. Jewel Dragon, thank you for gifting 5 subs. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Marisha's too dedicated to her lesbian cottagecore. Agree. Yeah, agree. Delilah cares about Laudna the way Mother Gothel cares about Rapunzel. That is actually a great comparison, Alvius. I just watched that movie recently again. It's such a good movie. But yes, it's like she does care about her, but only to the extent of what that she's useful. That is really, really good. Yeah, I think that's a really fantastic way to look at it. Chilean Inagil, thank you so much for the follows, and hey Octane, welcome. I think Delilah's sincerity is what is the form of a pet and an owner, when the owner is at best a narcissist. Yeah. Seems like a somewhat toxic relationship based on a heavy dependency. Is that Delilah and Laudna?
Sorry, I missed the initial comment. Oh, no, about the similarities between Delilah and Silas and Imogen and Laudna. Yeah. Can you imagine if Delilah's been holding a grudge against Ludinus and has been playing Laudna and using Bell's Hells to get a shot at revenge? I don't know why she would need to do that though, because Bell's Hells want to get Ludinus. So I think she would be better served by being more honest about it, right? Being like, hey, I got a grudge with Ludinus, so I'm gonna do everything I can to kill him with you. Let's like do this together. Instead, she's being very wishy-washy about what she knows about Ludinus. And in fact, Danny asked Matt in Four-Sided Dive, was Delilah lying when she said she didn't really know Ludinus? Or at least it was a question along those lines. And he was like, and they're like, oh no, well, we don't want to do that yet. So we're going to go to the Feywild where time is going to stop. Which I'm glad they're doing. Like, I don't want it to be constant go, go, go. But it's just, I just kind of feel like, yeah, I have the impression that, like, Campaign 2, we didn't get the late game stuff until, like, much later, and there was lots of seeds for it. But, yeah, it's just a very different way of running it, and I think that that's great that they're exploring different ways of telling a story. You know, I think that's really good. But for me personally, I found the pacing to sort of be really strange. Hopping off, no worries, Unlucky Unicorn. Thanks for being here. Like, the Chroma Conclave did get introduced pretty early in Campaign 1. It's like episode 35 or 40-ish, because the Briarwood arc starts around episode 25-ish, 27 or something. And then that runs for around 14 or 15 episodes, maybe. Sorry, I suppose I'm staring cross-eyed into the distance as I think about this. But then it felt like they had a lot more time to kind of do it. And then they had a whole other arc after that. Big Bang Season was a huge twist at the end. Yeah, I haven't finished Campaign 1 yet, so I am making my way through it. So I haven't really got to any of the stuff. Like, I'm still in the Chroma Conclave, whatnot. My ADHD brain really liked the fast-paced pacing. Yeah, there are certainly elements that I liked about it, but thinking about back to the early campaign, like there's just so much fun stuff in Dressar that I would have loved to have seen play out a little bit more. Like, maybe, am I misremembering? Did we ever get any explanation of what the Shade Mother was about? Like, what? Did that just kind of fizzle? And like, I know that plot hooks and stories fizzle all the time in D&D games, but that felt like such a big thing, and I just felt like it just kind of went nowhere. And, you know, the Green Seekers were such a cool group of NPCs that I thought were going to be kind of recurring as they were investigating the Shade Mother business, and then it just kind of went nowhere. Because then shortly after that they left, is that right? Yeah, they left. I think then after that they left to go to the Heartmoor Hamlet, I think, if I remember correctly. It was Ira's experiment with the Nile Rocks. Yeah. But I guess we just never... It was, yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like a very satisfying end to me. Sometimes the GM intros a thing and the players take a left turn. Yeah, I agree. For sure. And that's why I want to be clear that I know that sometimes in D&D games, like, stories just fall to the wayside all the time. It's happened in my own games, for sure. But yeah, it doesn't feel like we've had defined arcs as much as we've had in, especially in Campaign 1, also in Campaign 2. Someone did say, who was it up the top here? I missed it. Oh, Patty, yeah. That C2 did drag on a bit in the end. Yeah, I also agree that's the case as well. I mean, again, it's a game and it's an improvised format, so there's always going to be things that don't necessarily go, you know, as if you were, like, if you were writing a story, you wouldn't write it that way because it doesn't make any sense. So I don't want to be too critical of the pacing and whatnot, but I just, you know, I would have liked to have had a few more smaller stories, I think, before we really got into the stuff with Odahan and the Ruby Vanguard. Like, that was all really fun in the early days when they were discovering things about it. They were researching, they were learning about the Loomis twins. It was just like a lot of mystery, and now obviously once we get to the moon, I think things will really pick up again, because there will be a lot of mystery on the moon of like, how do these people work? What's their society like? Where do they live? You know, what are their goals? Like, that will be really good. But for now, it really just feels like we've just got lewdness right there, and that's it. Yeah. I'm stuck at episode 110ish for my C2 rewatch. Oh, you're so close though, right? Because how many episodes are there? You're very close there. Aor was really cool. Yeah, I did like Aor, but I think the travel between, like, across Islecross and everything, that felt a bit off to me. I'm assuming they thought the Green Seekers stopped the Shade Mother after they left. Yeah, because I remember when they left and they were like, oh, we're just going to let the town guards deal with that. And I was like, are you kidding me? You almost just got walloped and you're going to leave it to the... I remember being really confused by that decision at the time. I think I talked about it in a video. But yeah. I found it interesting that Matt asked the others what they had on their minds on the latest four-sided dive. I think that's a great question for any DM to ask your players. Like, what are you thinking about in terms of this campaign? What are the things that most come to your mind? Because then you kind of know where to... you know, put your interests. I be Mubu. Hopefully I said that correctly. Good evening to you as well. Welcome into the chat. Well, I was never the biggest C1 fan. I do think the campaign had the best pacing when Scan left, and then we had that break with the Tarry arc, then they did the final arc. Yeah, so I haven't quite got to that part yet, but like, I'm enjoying the pacing so far. I think having the, like, vestiges to kind of anchor the story around, it's like when you are playing a video game, right? And I think Campaign 1 has a very video game feel compared to Campaign 2. But it's like, okay, you've got to go and complete these 7 quests before the main quest will even unlock. Whereas in this one, it felt like the main quest unlocked at the beginning. It was kind of like Breath of the Wild, where it's like, you can run straight to Hyrule Castle if you want to. You're gonna die if you do that, but, like, you can do that. There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing gatekeeping you from that quest. Apart from your own strength and, you know, energy or whatever. But yeah, anyway, it's very interesting thinking about the way the campaign is set up and whatnot. Anyway. We've really talked around
like this a lot today. Sorry, I did have a run sheet. All right, it's almost time for Critical Role to start, so I do want to... Oh no, sorry, Sol, I want to be clear. I don't care about spoilers for Campaign 1. I know all of the big plot points of Campaign 1. It's all good. I just haven't... Like, I've watched a lot of recaps and I've watched a lot of clips. I've just never actually watched it myself. So I don't care about spoilers. This is a full spoiler zone. Feel free to spoil anything related to Critical Role. Just don't spoil Baldur's Gate for me, please. All right, my final discussion topic, which is good. I really want to talk about this before we finish up. Fern. What the fuck is up with that? Nanamori revealing that her heritage may be something else than what she thinks. Did Birdie make a pact with a devil of some kind? Is that what this deal is? I think that is going to be so fun if that's the case. I really want to learn more about that. But wait, I want to spoil all of Baldur's Gate 3. GM Workshop, no! Hey everyone, shout out to my good friend GM Workshop. Who, speaking of Baldur's Gate, is making tons of Baldur's Gate content on YouTube and absolutely smashing it. So if you want to learn more about Baldur's Gate, you want to learn about gameplay and different tips and tricks and things, please go and follow his YouTube channel. Also streams here regularly on Twitch, doing all kinds of stuff. So please go and follow. I reckon GM Workshop, you might have been one of the very first people to raid me when I started my Twitch channel, which I'll have you know was over 2 years ago now. I don't know how that makes you feel, but it makes me feel a certain way, that's for sure. Anyway, yes, back to Fern. Her mom is a warlock? Yeah, did Birdie make some kind of deal? Is she a warlock? Father is a kangaroo, which explains the marsupial pouches. That's good. I like that. Fern is Asmodeus' secret love child. Oh no. Demon Daddy, I'm so curious. I remember you and Mr. Best Calves on Twitch. We're doing a fun D&D stream. I'm gonna tell Jared that you called him that. He's at work at the moment. Yeah, Mom is a half tiefling. I don't know. There's something about it, and I'm really hoping that Fern asks Birdie about it today because I really want to know what the fuck is up with that. I'm gonna go now. No worries. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so I see that Critical Role has gone live. So, excuse me. We will hang out here for another 5 or 10 more minutes or so, and then we will finish up so we can all go over and watch together. Just as a reminder, we do have a watch party in the Discord if you want to join in there and hang out with some other cool boffins, as you're all called. And yeah, hang out. It's good. Earring check before we go. I don't have that set up right now, and also I feel horrible and I don't want to zoom in on my face, but I will. They're just like little some earring ASMR for you. Little shinies. MVH, thank you so much for gifting another 5 subs. Oh my goodness. Oh hey, is chat a lot more chill here? I hope so. Love the hair and earrings. Thank you. Welcome in. Grozo Gaming, thank you for the follow. Hydro, Chuli, thank you for the follows as well. Oh, Xerxes. Oh, is there a connection to Xerxes? That would be cool. Imagine if Birdie has a connection to Xerxes. That would be extremely cool. What if Luis walks out, sits down at the table? What if she's Chetney's child? No, Kadel, no, that's not happening. There's no way in the world that Matt would allow that to happen after the events of the episode. When was the last time Bella's Hells episode was released? It was a while ago. It was like a good 3 weeks or something. I would cry. There's just no way that Matt would make that canon. Fern's mom is a rogue arcane trickster, but maybe she's got some levels in Warlock. Who knows? One of Fern's potential devilish lineage has anything to do with her being a wildfire druid. Ooh, yes, that's good. That would be very good and juicy. And I also want to know if it has anything to do with her dark Fern image. I'm glad that Fern brought that up with Nanamori. I'm hoping that this discussion with her mother will expand upon that a little bit more. That would be very, very cool. Ludinus's child? Oh no. Imagine having Ludinus as your father. No. No, she says in Australian. It's been 3 weeks, yeah. Liam needs to have a reaction yet for Aurum. Yes, agreed. Just give the shard to the monkey. I have seen some people advocating for Mr. taking the shard.
So I had a quick question about Ashton kissing Fern. He said, I kissed her, and some people on Twitter thought there wasn't consent, while others thought it was just like a normal kiss and could have been rejected. What do you think on that? So I think he did kiss her non-consensually, which is bad. But I talked about this, I actually posted my little clip of what I said about it on my Twitter yesterday. But I basically don't feel like that was a romantic kiss at all. It felt like a goodbye kiss. It felt like I'm about to jump off of a cliff kind of kiss. It felt like one of those bad things you do when you're like, you're here. It's not like excitement, but you're like, adrenaline is here. It's all, it's all happening, and you just like, it was like, I'm just doing it. It was like that picture that you see that gets touted out all the time of the sailor kissing a woman in the street once the war had been declared over, and then she later came out and was like, I didn't consent to that kiss, but everyone looks at that kiss and goes, oh my god, wow. To me, that's kind of what it reminds me of. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't mean I approve of it, but I think that's what it was. That's my opinion. I got died by it. Yeah, Jedi, I agree. Yeah. And I think, Fern was probably very taken aback by it, because if she had a crush on him, she might have thought about kissing him, and it was not the kiss that she expected at all. Yeah. That's kind of my thoughts about it. It's very complicated. But really only Taliesin knows why Ashton did it. And he didn't really speak on it, other than he spoke about how Ashton does not believe, despite evidence to the contrary, that he is lovable. He does not believe that Fern could have a crush on him. They don't think they're worth love at all. So that makes it really sad. Yeah. If we die, I want you to know I kind of like you. I mean, I don't know if anyone has ever been kissed in a way where you realize that this kiss is not about you at all. I've been kissed like that before. Not Jared. He always kisses me lovely. But like, I've had a kiss like that before, when you're a teenager or whatever and you're working stuff out, and I'm like, oh, this isn't about me at all. Like this, I could not be here. I could be anybody that you're kissing right now. That's kind of what it felt like to me. Yeah. People are trying to make the peck of a kiss into something that we're in trouble. Well, I mean, I think it was something, because I don't think we should dismiss it as being absolutely nothing, because it clearly affected Fern. But those are kind of my feelings about it. For me, they are a mess, but not evil or manipulative. Yeah, and Taliesin has openly said that like so many times. Which is really fascinating. I think that this is going to see a big change in Ashton's character. I think Taliesin realized that like this was a huge moment. Ashton either needs to step up or step out, and I think Ashton is going to step up. So I think we're going to see some really cool character development from Ashton moving forward from now, because I think that whole speech where he's like, I'm not going to leave, I'm going to stay, I'm going to do whatever it takes to prove myself as trustworthy again, essentially. So I think we're going to see some really interesting stuff from Ashton. I think Ashton could really step up to become like maybe more helping the cohesion of this group a bit more. It amazes me how many fans ignore what the cast say about their own characters. Yeah, I agree. Got my first consensual kiss last week. Oh, congratulations. I hope it was a nice one, Kato. My first consensual kiss was not very nice. That's just because I didn't know what I was doing, and neither did the other person. Gonna hop out now. No worries, Queen of Pups. Yeah. Can't wait for the half-hour monologue from Liam. Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for gifting another sub. You've been on fire today. Thank you. Thank you very much. When Chet said you should go, don't come back either. Yeah. Everyone is individually broken, but this moment broke the party for better or worse. Yeah, I'm hoping it's really going to pull them together. It was actually interesting to me on Four-Sided Dive. I feel like I say that constantly. It's how I start every sentence. It was very interesting to me how when they were asked to think about an event that made the team realize what it felt like to be on a team, like they really struggled to come up with an example, which I think is very indicative of the way the party is set up. So I'm hoping that we're going to see after this little Feywild... I think that one is my new favorite one. It's so good. What was I saying before Sweet Caroline assaulted my eardrums? Yes, I'm hoping that they are going to kind of form more like cohesion after this Feywild retreat. It's very interesting to me how it's very interesting to Luna. I'm so glad, Norma. It's very interesting to me how it's very interesting to you, how it's very interesting to me. Oh, goodness. Thank you for the stream. Heading over now. No worries. Yeah, I will finish up very soon. So just one last reminder. Sorry, I know I've been hopping on about it, but feel free to jump into the Discord to join our watch party. I'm actually going to be in there this week. I'm going to watch live this week for the first time in ages. Normally I don't watch live because I like to watch on 1.5 or 2 times speed because my brain will just zone out if it's not coming into my brain at that rate. But yeah, hope there's more actual talking this week. Last episode was good. Hopefully they don't ignore it and move on too quickly. Yes, I think Matt made it very clear last week that they can take as much time as they want here. He did hint that there's going to be a little bit of, like, you know, bad stuff happening on the other side while they do this, but I really hope he does let them just take some time because I feel like they really need it. And that'll be good. Once Daggerheart is released, will they switch over? Oh, Zachary, I don't have time to get into that. That's a big discussion. I do actually have a whole video on my YouTube channel about it, though. If you
Nothing happens for a reason. It's absolute fucking chaos.
It absolutely is chaos. Speeding things up is so smart. It's how I watch or listen to pretty much everything. Yeah, so it should hopefully be a good episode this week. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Liam back at the table, which will be really good. I'm wondering if we're going to get another guest anytime soon. What was the last guest that we had? I can't remember. It was when the party split, right? So yeah, it was the 2-party split. So that was like episode 60 something, so it wasn't that long ago. It just feels like a long time ago. So I guess it'll probably still be a little while before we get any more guests. But I love guests. I want Prism to come back. I have all the supplies to make a Prism cosplay and I haven't done it yet, which is shameful of me, but I really want to make a Prism cosplay. I love her. I want to use her as like a character in my videos when I'm talking about lore, that have her like be at the Cobalt Soul and be explaining the lore stuff. So that'll be really fun. Who do we want for tonight's guest? I don't know. I don't want a guest tonight. I want them to take their time and just, you know, work it out and not like be totally, I don't know, not be focused on another character. More Dorian. I mean, I always want Dorian to come back. I was always devastated when Dorian left. I felt like he was such a great fit for the group. I know why he couldn't be a permanent character because obviously Robbie's probably very busy, doesn't necessarily want to do that, but like, he could have fit in perfectly. Could have absolutely fit in perfectly. Ah, yes. Anyway, all right, that will be enough for me today. I want to say thank you all so much for being here with me and putting up with my snotty voice. I will not be this sick next week, hopefully. Hopefully I will be back to streaming regularly next week, but who knows? I just can't seem to catch a break. Every week I'm like, right, that's the week. I'm getting back to streaming 3 times a week. And then stuff happens and I don't. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know. But I'll let you all know in the Discord and on Twitter when I will be, you know, next streaming and whatnot. So I hope you all have...
I see I have been invited to Rumpus. Very well, Your Majesty. And I'm going to punch a tree.
Rushla, thank you so much for the 500 bits. You're an absolute gem. Thank you so much, everybody. And yeah, I'll see you all really soon. Bye!